What's happening, everyone, and welcome back to Scarfey Talks Premier League podcast. Happy New Year from me. It is my first one of the year. Harry thankfully took last week's one because I was hanging like hell, and I'm guessing at least a couple of my other co-hosts tonight were not feeling the best for it. But obviously, Premier League football little bit quiet this week because we are in cup games, but we still do have games next week, midweek, which is a very quick turnaround again. So we definitely have a lot to talk about this week. I'm quite looking forward to this one. So if I jump straight over to Barney, thank you very much for coming on again, mate. How you been?
Happy New Year, Kallum, and Happy New Year to you all. Yeah, I've been good, just battling away, watching lots of Fulham, and I'm looking forward to talking about football with you guys this evening.
Lovely stuff. And James, obviously, you probably didn't want to be speaking to a Spurs fan tonight, but I will promise not to be too difficult tonight. But obviously, pleasure to have you on again with me, mate. So how you been?
All right, guys. Happy New Year. Great to be on the show. Looking forward to the show. Yep. Can't wait to get going. Talk about football, results, what's going to happen. Can't wait.
Lovely stuff. And Spooks, I've got you back on again, mate. It looks like you sorted out your Wi-Fi this time. You finally put 50 pence in the meter and told BT to do one for a week. So how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, and I'm not in the UK, so I'm on a different plan right now. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm glad that everybody's doing well. And even though my team has stumbled a bit, I'm looking forward to seeing better things from them and also to talk football with everybody else.
Lovely stuff. So we've got Barney, we've got James, we've got Spooks on his dongle running off of an Al Jazeera satellite somewhere. So that's going to go down really well. Right, let's jump straight into it. So obviously, just to cover a couple of the cup games this week, we have had semi-final first legs for the Carabao Cup. A massive win for Newcastle over Arsenal on Tuesday night at the Emirates, which I don't think anyone expected. And there have been more shouts for Arteta to get his acting gear because he has decided that the Carabao Cup ball is a different football to the Premier League ball. I don't know how that works. A ball is round. It's not a tennis ball. It's not a cricket ball. You won't break your foot using it. So I think he needs to get his priorities straight with how he did. But Eddie Howe, what can we say? I mean, that man is doing something special at Newcastle at the moment. And Newcastle, two big scalps. They got Spurs at the weekend in that 2-1 win. And then they've obviously done Arsenal. So, I mean, definitely something for them to play for. And then obviously on Wednesday night, it was a depleted Spurs lineup versus a Liverpool team that weren't really on full form after playing against Man United, and ultimately Spurs did win that one. I know that I will not be horrible to James because I know he might go offline straight away and I'll have to rely on Spooks' dongle not to break, but it did set up two very interesting ties in the week commencing, I believe, of the 4th of February when the next games will be played. And I mean, if Liverpool do beat Spurs, you will be fucking up my birthday. So I won't be best pleased. Let's put it this way on that day. So let's... Obviously, we've had a couple of big results, obviously, for you, Barney, as well last night. Fulham beating Watford, so very good on that one. And I know Spurs, Liverpool and Chelsea all have, I would say, big games to come. I mean, if I just quickly roll off where everyone is playing, Liverpool are at home Anfield against Accrington Stanley. So, I mean, if you do lose that, then that would be very, very concerning, to say the least. Chelsea are playing Morecambe at Stamford Bridge. So if Chelsea do lose to Morecambe, that's definitely very concerning. And Spurs have a lovely trip away to Tamworth, where until a couple of weeks ago, I didn't know where it was. And it turns out that tickets that were for free are being charged at £26 to £40 a ticket now for the game on Sunday. So that hasn't gone down very well with the Tamworth fans. But obviously, big up to everyone in the cup runs this week, and it should make it very interesting. And Barney, congratulations on being through to, is it the 4th round or the 3rd? I think it's the 4th round, isn't it?
Round, yes. I think the draw takes place on Sunday, if everybody recalls.
So that should be a good setup. So let's jump straight into week 21. Obviously, big up to Kid Junior in the chat as well. Big up to anyone who is in the chat. I'm sure everyone would love to hear from them, have discussions on them. But I think it's only fair to say that we start off with a team that we've all been very wax lyrical about this year, a team who haven't been in the greatest of form since he did sign his new deal over there. So let's go straight to Brentford Man City. Now, it looks like City could have some new players by the time they do play on Tuesday. They are going for the Lens centre-back. I believe it's Abdullah Kashar. And they've got... I think there's another striker that they're looking at. Can anyone get his name right? Mamouche, is it?
Mamouche from Frankfurt.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, the next player that took over from Kallum when he left them, so a very good talent, and then they will as well potentially be getting another centre back from South America, who does look like he will be loaned back. James, obviously, I know how much you love Manchester clubs, so I think it's only fair to come to you first on this one, mate. Obviously, City still not in the greatest of form. They have picked up some points last time since we have spoken, but I mean, Brentford are still very much up there with us all very much being happy with Thomas Frank. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this game, mate?
I think City have started to find a bit of form. They're starting to find a bit of momentum. They picked up a few results of late. I fancy a City 1.
Okie dokie. They've also found 170 million by all accounts down the back of the sofa and all that. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not paying their lawyers this at the moment with all them charges. So somehow they've got 170 million that they can spend and get around PSR. So, I mean, Spooks, obviously, Chelsea are no favourites of PSR, let's put it that way. So, I mean, it's only fair that I bring it on to you on that comment, mate. I love the T-shirt, by the way, as well. I have got my R2-D2 flask, so I can't complain on that one. And obviously, Brentford, local rivals for you guys in West London. Obviously, they've done very well since Ivan Toney left. They've gone from strength to strength. Visa and Burmo, just to name a few of how good their players are. I mean, we've all been impressed by them. But, I mean, can you see them potentially getting a result at their ground against City, mate?
I do, and it's quite weird because this is the first time a Brentford Manchester City game is going more in favor of Brentford, in my opinion. I think they found an amazing patch of form. Shada, Visa, and Mbemo are really ripping it up right now. And at home, they look almost imperious. I love the way they counter-attack. They're not really going to sit back, but whenever you give them the opportunity to transition, oh my God, they do that with such finesse and such speed. And Mbemo is playing a season of his life. I don't know, it seems like Mbemo and Visa have struck this form of partnership where they are looking for each other when they're on the field. So I think that helps, the team to create more and also to put together some decent number of goals. I think defensively they've also been solid with Pinnock. And yeah, I think this game is going to be a banana peel for Manchester City. I don't think they're going to win this. If I was going to go for a prediction, I'd go for a 2-1 Brentford.
Lovely stuff. James, are you thinking a 2? Are you going to go for a Brentford win or a City win for your prediction?
City 1, 2-1.
City win 2-1. Okie dokie. So we've got two nice opposites on that one. Barney, you get the tie break on this one, mate, I'm afraid. And I will not accept a boring draw. What's your thoughts and what's your prediction, mate?
No, you certainly won't get a boring draw. I mean, we know how poor Brentford's away form has been. Okay, granted, they beat Southampton 5-0, but then
anyone can do that. Anyone
Well, except
can
us,
do
except
that.
us, except
Well,
us.
yeah, there is that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Bournemouth, sorry, not Bournemouth. What I'm talking about, Brentford have a really good home record, and I admire them, even though they are our rivals. I do admire what Thomas Frank is achieving there. Man City, yeah, they're always capable of switching it on. They showed that against West Ham. They can just flip and suddenly be good again, and you know that's just expected. They spend a lot of money and they've got good quality players, but truth be told, I actually think Brentford can get a result here, Callum. So I'm going for 2-1.
2-1, lovely stuff. You backed up Spooks on that one, so that makes it nice and easy.
Yeah.
And James has actually backed a City that he definitely hates, so that'll go down well, won't it? With
I think,
all the
let
others,
me say
all
this
the other
thing. I think
Liverpudlians.
West Ham was terrible. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
West Ham was terrible. City didn't really have to play too well to beat them that much. So yeah, I don't think they're out of that bad patch. They just have found, easy games or easier than normal games to, win.
No, of course, mate. Of course. I mean, obviously, that was the last straw for West Ham, to be fair, until they went out and got Harry Potter as their new manager. So we can enjoy that.
Let's see how that goes.
Fucking hell, I actually thought that was the Harry Potter theme tune that just came on then in the background. I was going to say, that's Jesus Christ, Spooks. So you actually creating a ghost, or have you made sure this podcast has a poltergeist now or something like that?
Yeah. But I had a call. I had a call coming through before, so I switched my phone to voice isolation. Yeah, I just did that. So now you're not gonna hear anything. I was speaking to the missus before. Anyways, let's move on.
Was it them telling you that your money top up on your dongle is running out by any chance, mate? Was it
Oh no,
saying
no,
that you've
no.
got
It was actually
stop
like a
using that
horn
dodgy
from outside
hotel
the street.
Wi-Fi?
No, this is actually a new plan. Like it's from my provider, but like it was a horn from a car from the street. Yeah.
No, I understand, mate. I completely understand. Right, we have got a couple more people in the chat. So big up Mary Maggie. 4-0 Spurs versus Tamworth. You really think we're going to get through with a clean sheet? Yeah, we'll see. We will see. But big up Mary and Jay. Good to have you on again, mate. As always, you always come on with us, so can't say that you ever miss a beat. So let's keep it with Spooks. I think it's only fair. We'll go to Chelsea Bournemouth. Obviously, Bournemouth have been very good this season. Chelsea are in a bit of a blip. The only thing that's working in Chelsea's favour is the fact that Bournemouth now have no strikers. They have lost 2 in a week. Evan Nilsson has had a foot surgery, and NSU now, who isn't the greatest of players, but has something about him, has now done a cruciate ligament as well and is out for nearly the rest of the season as well. So, Spooks, I think it's only fair to let you have your say on Chelsea here, mate. You've got Chilwell out and Casado, is it, or something like that, or Casadi? I think the Italian midfielder, I believe.
Casado,
So not too bad on the injury front. You do have a pretty much fit fighting 50 players that you can choose from in your roster. So what are you thinking here, mate? How do you see this one going?
This is one of the more difficult ones. Last week I beat my chest and said we're going to beat Palace, and yeah, that was quite a weird one. I think Bournemouth is the only match this season that I felt we scraped the win. I think they played better than us, and Nkunku with the moment of magic gave us that win. I Even though you're speaking about them not having strikers, I'm just gonna go with a draw for this game because I have a feeling Chelsea kind of give gifts, right? So you can come with the worst patch of form to Stamford Bridge, and all of a sudden you either grab a win or a draw, and you have a wonderful run of form from there. So I'm not looking at this game with that much confidence as I kind of saw the Palace game, but I think we have the quality to be able to win, but Iraola has oiled this Bournemouth team to the T. They are amazing. They attack with real quality. Semenyo, they've got Clivert. Defensively, they've got Houston and then Zabani. Really amazing team. I love them. When I'm not watching Chelsea, they are one of my go-to teams to watch. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a draw for this game. I don't know. I'm hoping we win, but I'm not gonna be as confident. So you guys gonna batter me next week.
No, I think that's only fair, Spooks. I mean, obviously Chelsea haven't conducted any transfer business at present. I don't know whether you guys will be either. You have got enough players in your
We've got
squad. It's
50
just whether
players,
they're
man.
good
You
enough.
just said we've got 50 players.
Well, yeah, I know, but I think you'd rather sell half of them, to be honest, because most of them that you've got are
Yeah, so,
got to go, and you're looking at more centre backs that you want at the moment, isn't it? Gahey has been named, Chalobah being recalled, so I mean, there's definitely some options that you could call
that's a
up.
weird one for me. Yeah, the
Well,
Gehi links are like quite weird for me because you know he's a good centre back, but is he too much of an improvement on Caliber? Is he too much of an improvement on this your Fulham centre back that we have now?
Which one's that?
Tossin. Yeah, Tossin. I don't think
Adebayo.
he's too much.
Adebayo,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
Well, I
think
mean,
he's
he's at
too much
Chelsea,
of an
yeah.
upgrade on Tuchel. He's good. Yeah, he's good. And I don't think we need to do any business. If we're going to look at any position, it has to be the strikers. We need help for what's his name? Nicholas Jackson. He's been playing every game and doing amazing, even though he's been missing chances. That's what strikers do. He needs some help. You know, give him a run of 60 minutes and then get him another striker to come and support. He can't be doing all of this work at 23 years old. Like we're looking at him to be like the next Drogba. It's not gonna happen just immediately. He's too young for that kind of pressure. So we need some help in that striker's position. Defensively, I don't think we need any reinforcement. We're just too young, and the mistakes are gonna come. We'll learn from them.
No, of course. I mean, to be fair, you do have the recall clause, though, on Chalobah, and I believe you do
Yeah.
have a buyback clause on Gahey, if it is still applicable, when you did sell him a couple of years back. But I mean, I think that you'd probably make a lot of Crystal Palace fans, including Henry, who's usually on here, cry if you do take half of their back four away, considering that Fulham already done them a nasty one in the summer as well.
Yeah. Oh wow,
Jay,
Anderson, yeah.
yeah, Anderson's gone as well. So, James, if I come over to you on this one, mate, obviously Chelsea were making a sort of charge towards Liverpool a couple of weeks ago on the title. They have dropped away a little bit. There have been some points which you probably look at them and think they should have done better in. Can you see them keeping up with Liverpool on this game, or do you think this will be one bridge too far for them?
Up until Bournemouth got the two injuries, the two strikers, I'm going for Chelsea one here. Definitely. I just think Chelsea have too much up top. It's just unfortunate for Bournemouth to have players getting injured at a very important time of the season. Chelsea won this. Yeah.
I mean, if Bournemouth do need a loan striker, I hear there is one game from RB Leipzig that is already on loan in the Premier League. So we can terminate Timo Werner's loan and they can have him if they want, or if not, Chelsea can have him back, because I would happily drive him somewhere and leave him in a field without anything to stand for it. So, Barney, I'll come over to you, mate. Obviously,
why don't you guys ever listen? We sold them for a reason. You guys just pick up all the stuff. Arsenal did the same with Havertz. Why do you guys keep doing this? Like, when we sell a player, just leave them alone.
No, but Havertz is a good player. Havertz has actually done something. Timo Werner is just legs. He just runs. He does nothing else. I mean, literally, he can't hit a barn door from 2 yards away. You might as well take him to a shooting range and he'd end up shooting himself. That's the fucking problem. That's where we'll leave it on that one, Spooks. But yeah, Barney, obviously, me and you have had a soft spot for Bournemouth this year.
Hugely.
And I would have said that if Ange was going to be sacked, Iraola would have been one of my choices to come in and replace him. very unfortunate, like James said, about the injuries that they have got up front.
Yeah,
They do have
really bad luck.
Semenyo, they do have some other players. So, I mean, can you see them having enough potentially maybe with a false nine set up to be able to go against Chelsea, or probably too far this one?
You know what, Kallum? I mean, I've obviously seen Bournemouth very, very recently. We obviously drew with them just over the Christmas period, and they're an exceptional side. One of the better sides I've actually seen at Craven Cottage this season. They pass the ball so well. They've got players who can transition from defence to attack. They gave us a really, really good game. But unfortunately for them, I think just the injuries have come along at a bad time. I mean, yeah, like you say, Semenyo is a great player. You know, he can make the chances. But they'll still look on Chelsea. You know, they're going for a little bit of a wobbly patch. Obviously, over the festive period, they didn't have the results they wanted. So they will certainly look on this as potential points. If you're asking me for a prediction,
Well, I think Barney's had a incident online. I think his Wi-Fi has decided to do a spooks on it. So we will wait for him to return
Good one.
from that one. So, James, obviously you went for a Chelsea win. Spooks, you're thinking a draw with this one as well. I think it could be a 2-2 draw on this one. I think Bournemouth do have Semenyo. They do have Clive, Alex Scott, Lewis Cook as well.
They could
Who
play
can do
Semenyo
stuff.
up top too.
Yeah, exactly. He played there for Bristol City. So, I mean, and he's a class player. He kind of reminds me of Brian Mbermo from Brentford and all that. I mean, if you had them two, I mean, Jesus Christ, you'd be happy with that. So, Barney has jumped. I think it's only fair because it is Fulham West Ham, which is the next game. I'll wait for Barney to return. So we will go to a favourite of James's.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
wow.
Okay.
What a game.
The only team apart from Spurs to beat Liverpool this year. And I can say that with hand on heart that Forest actually did it so much better than Spurs did and all that. I mean, Forest, Nuno's just won Manager of the Month for December. I mean, how the hell I'm saying that when he was at Spurs, he was God knows what. And now he's got a team of not misfits, but a team of players who weren't respected by their own clubs. Ultimately, quite a few were at Chelsea and Man United down there as well. He's pulled a team together, and it kind of reminds me of when Leicester won the league as well. They are definitely running amok with people, and they've already obviously won their game early this week. So, I mean, are you feeling nervous or confident? And what can you see here, mate? And what's your overview of the game as well? I think you got to talk a little bit on this one.
Well, they are the only side to beat us this season in the Premier League. But and saying that was the first game after the international break. I think, and Slot was learning his way and getting to know the players and getting to know the system.
I hear excuses. I hear excuses.
I think we're going to win this game.
They are very good at home, though, mate. They are quite tight.
I think we're going to win this game. I'll tell you the reason why. We missed Slabazai last Sunday against United. His energy, his pressing, going forward. If he's back in the team with Gravenberch and McAllister, I think we'll win. Yeah,
that definitely looked like what you was lacking against us the other day. Because who did you play? You played Jones. Elliott came on at some point as well.
That's right.
think. They're decent. They're good squad options, but I don't think they're like Gravenberch. No. And I thought Gravenberch was crap last year, but something Slot has done with him has got him playing well. Soboslai looks class, and McAllister, we all knew how good a player he was. And I tell you what didn't do you guys any favours the other day. When Canate went off and you moved Endo.
Quantum went off.
Oh, yeah, when Quansah came
Yeah.
off and Endo came on, Endo was brilliant. And then when Endo got moved out of centre-back into midfield, you was so weak in midfield. Endo was class the other night, and I thought he was amazing.
Yeah.
For a 33-year-old Japanese guy who had no clue what league he was playing in until a year ago and all that. I mean, he's brilliant and all that. But obviously, Forest are tight at home. So, I mean, what's your score prediction for this one, mate?
I'm gonna go 2-1 to Liverpool.
2-1. Darwin Nunez brace.
No, hopefully not even on the bench. Personally, I would give Chiesa a run. Chiesa deserves to come on at some stage before Nunez, because there's something there with Chiesa. He's an exceptional player when he's fit. He's absolutely world class when he's fit.
He just can't even get in a squad at the moment, can he? Half the time and all that. So I don't know what's going on. Whether that was a club signing or whether that was a slot signing. I think there's got questions for that.
Yeah. But it only cost 12 million.
Oh yeah, it's a low risk deal.
Yeah. So, I would give him a chance. Maybe not start him, but I would bring him on before Nunez. I would try him out because he can't be any worse than Nunez.
Well, that's true.
You know.
Right. Barney, obviously, welcome back before your Wi-Fi went on Spooks.
Sorry, my phone died. Sorry about that, guys.
So, obviously, Forest, we keep talking about them every blinking week. Chris Wood doesn't stop scoring. The amount of new contracts they're handing out. Gibbs White is pushing for an England place in Tuchel's first squad. Hudson-Odoi is pushing. Ilanga is doing bits for them as well. And their defence is making, who apparently Arsenal had the best defence in the league with Gabriel and Saliba. I mean, Murillo and whoever else they've got in there, they're definitely pushing them.
The Forest keeper is class. I really like him.
Yeah.
Who is that? Who is that? Is that
Marcel.
Sells. What, the old
Marcel, yeah.
Where did he used to be? Was he at Brighton or somewhere like that, weren't he? Anyone got Wikipedia?
I can't think I remember, but I know he's got a lot of clean sheets this season. I know he's up there.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Matt Sells.
He has the most right now.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, he was at Newcastle before this. Then went to Newcastle,
How did we miss out on that?
Oh, exactly. At the moment, they've got Dubravka. I mean, I'm not going to lie, that don't really inspire us that much confidence.
They've got Pope, so Pope is injured. Yeah.
And I did hear a rumour as well that apparently they was looking at Trafford from Burnley as well, and all that as another keeper. So that'd be an interesting one. But so obviously, Barney, we know that Nuno's just won Manager of the Month. They're
I saw that actually just now. Actually,
like there's no tomorrow. James is thinking that Liverpool can rebound on this one. I mean, can you see it happening, mate, or do you think this is going to be another tough game for Liverpool?
You know what? I mean, Nuno, is just a great manager. I mean, he's taken Forest to the next level, hasn't he? And this Forest-Liverpool matchup just reminds me of the early Premier League days when they sort of went up against each other, and back when I was a kid. This definitely has a fixture of being a game of the weekend for me, and I see a high-scoring game, definitely. Forest have been decent at home. Liverpool have got some good results away. It definitely feels like kind of an early contender. I think Forest are definitely European contenders. Let's put that out there straight away. I think they're top four. I think they're top four contenders. Champions League, 100%. 100%. You know what? I think it'll be a good game, and I think Liverpool will give it a go. Forest will give it a go. I can see both sides scoring and conceding. I think it could be a 2-2 game, Kallum, this.
Okay. James, just to come back over to you before I go to Spooks. Obviously, Canate's potentially could be back fit. I believe Quantz is out for a while now, isn't he? After his injury from the other night, unless I'm mistaken.
Apparently, he was ill. He was just sick. He wasn't injured.
Okay.
Apparently, he felt chest pains. He felt sick. Well, Slot came out and says he wasn't injured, so I'd say Quantz will be in the squad. But
so I mean, have you got many other injuries apart from, I believe Gomez is out for quite a while, isn't he?
Gomez out for a few weeks. Bradley, he's back. Slabazai trained with the 21s yesterday, I believe. Okay. So Slabazai should be back. That's about it. Everybody else seems to be fine. Yep.
So you've got Robertson and Simicast both back fit now as well.
Yeah, Bradley and Trent as well.
Yeah,
right back. Kallum, can I ask you a question before you? If you had a choice between Nuno and Ange at Spurs, obviously Nuno's doing well now, but do you feel Spurs sacked him too quick?
Yeah.
I think that there was no game plan with Nuno when he came in, because that summer when we looked at Nuno, there was Conte that we looked at. There was we had such a shit merry-go-round of managers that year. We looked at there was a couple of managers from Italy. Gattuso as well we looked at, and all of them old quotes of him being racist and sexist came up, and that went down like a lead balloon with our fan base. And then we tried to get Conte, he wasn't ready to come in, and then Nuno was like number 6 or 7 on the list. So I mean, I thought the idea what he was trying to do of getting young players through was the right thing, but I don't think the club had a game plan of how to implement it, and I don't think that he knew what to do with a club like Spurs and all that, because he was coming in to replace Mourinho and all that, and we'd had a shocking season. We'd gone out of a cup final as well, so I think that what he's had at Newcastle has been the right idea. He's been backed and they've understood what he's going to come in and do. But remember, when he first came into Forest, straight after Cooper, he did struggle and all that, didn't he? And all that, he had to have time to settle. And I mean, he didn't have the time at Spurs, to be honest. So it's so hard to look at it in hindsight to know whether it was the right choice or wrong choice. To be honest, I just don't think he was the right choice for Spurs, to be honest. And I don't think anyone apart from, I mean, Ange plays good football, but he has to be adaptable. I didn't like Mourinho. Conte was too outspoken for me. And I know that even Spooks can vouch for that. When he was at Chelsea, he definitely had a way of portraying himself to the media and to the players and to the fans. And I still love Pochettino, to be honest. So it's definitely a difficult one with that. Obviously, big up Luca in the chat as always, and Spooks. I know I've taken us around the houses on this one. I will come back to you on that one, mate. But obviously, Forest and Liverpool. Chelsea are still trying to chase.
Incredible.
Liverpool are still far ahead at the moment, and Forest are in there and around with Chelsea at the moment, sort of vying for them second, third and fourth spots with Arsenal as well. Are Forest scaring Chelsea this year, mate?
I think they're scaring everybody. They're 4 points ahead of Chelsea. So before we even go into this week, we're looking to play catch up. And I think Forest is one of the teams that I have come to love, because they took 2 of my players and then showed us why we should have kept them. You know, I don't know why. Well, Aina is the best right back in the league defensively, in my opinion. This season, he's been incredible. Nothing has gone up that left side when he's playing on the right side. And attacking, he's also putting up some good numbers, goals and assists. So I like him, and I don't know why we let him go. But then you remember we had the second Reece James at that time, fit and firing. So, I think Forest are a very wonderful team to watch. This game is actually a game of opposites. Liverpool is gonna go all attacking, try to beat on them pressing, and Forest are gonna go long and try to knock the balls down, try to create overloads, and try to play on the transitions. So Forest is going to wait until Liverpool go all in and then try to hit them on the counter. It's gonna be a wonderful game to watch. I'm gonna be seated for this game. I think Forest might cause an upset, but it won't be a win. It might be a draw because I don't see Liverpool walking over Forest the way they're playing right now. Milenkovic and then the partnership with Murillo, incredible. Those two right now look like world class centre backs. Those two marshalling the defense, making sure headers are won. Set pieces they are contributing with goals. And in the attack, they have a certain Chris Wood who is having a blinder. He's just scoring every chance he gets. It's incredible. So yeah, Nottingham Forest is scaring everybody in the Premier League right now, not just Chelsea. And before we even think of catching them, we just need to see how teams like Liverpool with an axe to grind with them fare against them. Because if Liverpool can beat them this weekend, then maybe it might put down that blueprint of how everybody else can try to beat them because they've been incredible this season.
Of course, probably two of the most informed teams in the league. So that's definitely going to be probably the watch of the day on Tuesday night. That is a 8 o'clock kickoff. So that's going to be a nice midweek one to keep everyone interested. Let's put it that way. So I think that's probably on Sky Sports or TNT. Obviously, Barney, I will come back to the West Ham Fulham game before your phone decided to kill itself.
I'm sorry
honest,
about that.
mate. No, it's all right. It's not a problem.
No
I thought it was only fair to jump to the next game and all that, just to make James's life a little bit more difficult for a little bit more this week. But no, obviously. I'm only
You're
joking,
enjoying
mate.
this a little too much, man. You're enjoying this a little too much. Calm down. There's another leg to play.
Because I had so many Liverpool fans absolutely rip me a new arsehole when they beat us 6-3. So I'm allowed to give it back just a little bit, just for a week before I know that Liverpool are just going to kill us in the next tie. But no, obviously West Ham, Fulham. So West Ham will have their new manager, hopefully by then confirmed and training. So it will be Fulham versus Hogwarts when it comes to it. How can you see this game, mate? Because obviously the Olympic Stadium can be a difficult place to go to, but West Ham have done about as much as Sweet FA to inspire anyone this year after spending 100 million.
I mean, yeah, you've mentioned what I was going to say there. They spent a huge amount of money, and their owners were obviously dissatisfied. Thought Potter's going to come in and see what he can do. And I was thinking about this earlier, Kallum. It's just a case of, is it going to be Chelsea Potter in charge of West Ham, or is it going to be Brighton Potter? What's his style going to be? How's West Ham going to adapt to this? I'm still reading from our 1-1 draw against them earlier in the season. That was 2 points thrown away, but you know what? We've got players who can hurt them. I'm confident. Our away form is really, really good. We got 13 points from our away games so far. We've taken, I know you won't like me saying this, but we've beaten Chelsea. We've drawn with Liverpool. We've taken points off, the top sides. So not in an arrogant way, but I don't fear anyone in this league if we play to our A game and if the right Fulham turn up, which is always the key for me, which Fulham will turn up. Are we going to make a mistake in the final third? Is the ball just going to keep coming back? Are we going to make a sloppy pass? And we always find a way to gift the opposition goals. It's a Fulhamish thing that's been going on for years and years. Obviously, it's a new manager bounce as well. You never know.
They're having a bounce at the moment. They are playing against Villa in the Cup, and Paqueta, the most boring Brazilian player in the Premier League, has put them ahead and all that. So, I mean, I believe that Potter may be in charge tonight on the touchline as well. So, I mean,
Okay, so that's good. At least, well, at least it's not the first game in charge of us, so that's better. But in terms of prediction, going back to what I think we're capable of getting something. Like I say, we got time to rest from our result against Watford last night. We're the draw specialists at the moment. We've drawn 6 of our last 8. I'm not complaining because we're not losing, but we seem to have a habit of picking up a lot of draws. So 1-1, I think.
1-1. Okie dokie. Spooks, I'm going to come over to you, mate, because obviously one West London rival, one East London rival for you. Do you share Barney's, I would say, confidence? I'm thinking more like arrogance when it comes to this with Fulham, to see what you think on this one, mate, because definitely the new manager bounce could be tonight for West Ham. He is correct, though. Fulham do seem to nick a draw or a win against all the top clubs. He did forget that they did take points off of Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well.
I was being nice.
But you did do it against Arsenal as well, so I was quite happy with that. So, I mean, they do have a habit of doing it against top clubs and losing points against clubs they should realistically do something against, West Ham being one of them. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this one, mate?
So Fulham are kind of a mixed bag for me. I love watching them play, but like you said, sometimes with the games that you expect them to win, they're going to disappoint you. This game is actually a very interesting one. Aside the Nottingham Forest Liverpool game, I think this is one of the games that I would want to watch because I think West Ham have underperformed this season, and we all know why. They've just lost their manager. They've not played to their strength. They have some really incredible talents. They have someone go on the bench. I don't know what he's doing there. They've got Kudus, who's like a maverick, can create out of anything. They've got Full Krug, who came in this season. Before that, we had Darren Bourne before he went off with the injury. They've got really talented players. Even Paqueta that you mentioned has his moments. So I think they have the potential to be really good, but they've been horribly shocking for me this season. They've been playing the worst football I've seen in my life. Sometimes I see Wan-Bissaka going down the wing like an attacking fullback, and I'm like, he's never played that in his life. He's never put in like a decent cross that you're like, oh wow, this is world class. Why are you playing him in that position? And if you bring Wan-Bissaka into a team, you're looking for defensive solidity. He doesn't give West Ham that this season. So I don't think that they are going to get much out of this game. I might have to go with a draw, but I think Fulham have enough to win this game. If not for the new manager bounce, I would have gone for a Fulham win, to be honest, because I think Fulham have enough to win this game.
No, that's very fair, mate. And James, I'll come over to you on this one. Obviously, one team in form, one team out of form with a new manager. Do you echo what the guys have said, thinking that Fulham could do something, or do you think that this could be a big scalp for Potter in his first Premier League game?
No, I've been really impressed with Fulham. The manager has got them playing. They're well organised. They're hard to beat. I can see Fulham winning this game.
Okie dokie. So it looks like a full house on that one, but not too shocked if they do get another draw, because it seems to be their winning mantra on that one. So let's jump on to the Wednesday fixtures, and we will start with another team who at present are without a manager, and one who seems to be in very up and down form now. Obviously, Sean Dyche last night was notified 2 hours before the cup game against, I believe, was it what team? Peterborough.
Peterborough, yeah.
Yeah, he was notified 2 hours before that he would no longer be the manager of Everton under Fenway Group. The players were notified only 2 hours before kickoff as well, which I think is diabolical in any shape or form of doing it. Dyche is a good manager. He doesn't play the nicest of footballs, but he keeps you stable. He keeps you in the league. He's not. If you back him, he probably can do stuff, but I don't think Everton did back him in one way or another. And to be honest, bringing back David Moyes, if it is to be believed from all the journos, I don't really see what the difference is between them two managers, to be honest. They're stability managers. I know he won stuff with West Ham, but I think that was quite a freak because he was at Everton for nearly 12 years and did not much. He got on contending, but that was about it. And on the other side of that, you've got a Villa team who are very hit and miss at the moment, can have a big result, but also can drop out. So, James, I'll stick with you on this one, obviously, because I know Everton are so dear and near to your heart, sir. Obviously, there was a nice tweet that got put out by Liverpool City Council last night on the way to Goodison Park saying that anyone on the way to the stadium, be careful of the ice. Sean Dyche isn't on his way there, but at least everyone else take care. What is going on with Everton at the moment, mate? This is a joke, isn't it? I'm not going to lie.
We can't afford to get relegated because they built a new stadium. Can't score goals. That's a big problem. I don't know where the goals are going to come from. I really don't. And if Moyes is coming in, he needs to sign 1 or 2 strikers to keep them up.
Yeah.
Because I think they could be in a relegation battle.
The thing is, I mean, how many strikers have they gone out and bought in the last couple of years? They've got Chicken from Sporting. They went and bought Beto from Udinese. They've got Calvert-Lewin, who on his day can be a brilliant striker, but at the moment he can't stay fit or literally can't get his shooting boots on.
He doesn't want to be there either.
Well, no, there is that.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be there.
He also got hurt last night. Yeah, he seems himself to be bigger than the club, like, you know, a better striker than Everton. So I don't know. He's looking to prize himself out of the place.
I don't actually think he is that much better than Everton, to be honest. He's never really had a season that has sort of inspired me that much. I think that when Richarlison was there, him and Richarlison had about the same goal return because they couldn't stay fit. So, I mean, the most that they would have got was like 10 or 11 goals. So, I mean, when you've got a club like that and players who think they're bigger than the club, when, with all due respect, Everton do have one of the longest histories in the Premier League, and these players think they should be something special when they're not doing it for Everton. How can you expect to make a move to a big club? You can't, can you?
No.
I mean, even Onana going from Villa in the summer to... Onana going from Everton to Villa in the summer. I was speaking to my mate who's a Villa fan the other day, and he said he's a good young player, but he's about as inconsistent as you come and all that. He's not for 50 or 60 million justification for his price tag. So, I mean, this is definitely one of them where if Villa have their form going, they could definitely do a
kick on.
Yeah, they could do a massive score here. So, I mean,
they
James,
should win.
what are you thinking?
They should.
What am I thinking? I'm going to go 3-1 for Aston Villa.
Okie dokie, 3-1 Villa. That's a nice scoreline for that. I think it's one of our highest scores tonight at the moment because the rest have got 2-1s against them. Obviously, love for Barney in the chat from James Stewart. Spooks, haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah.
I say that with tongue in cheek on that one, mate. But obviously, Everton Villa, mate. This one's got the makings of either a manager bounce or a killing. Yeah, what do you think?
Nah, I'm actually going for a thrashing because the only reason or the only thing I saw from Everton that gave me some form of confidence was the fact that they were defensively strong, and that was all Dash's work. You know, Dash has built the team to not concede. So even though they have the odd game here where they concede a couple of goals, they basically shut up shop and decide we're not going to get beat. If you take him out of the team, I do not see the quality in this team as good enough to win a Premier League game. I honestly don't. They have some names. I think Ndiaye is the only name that jumps to me. Dokori, a couple of maybe Broja, but before he got injured. But then aside those 3 players, I do not see anyone that can help them out of this route. I think they're going to go down. I don't think a manager can save their season. And it's too much of a change midway through the season to bring a new manager to already, you know, unstable group. They have a lot of things going on behind the scenes with, PSR and, some charges that are about to drop on them. There's a lot of things going on in that club that I don't think the manager change was necessary. They just needed to get in some good players, Premier League proven, and good strikers maybe to score a couple of goals to keep them up. The manager change is an odd one for me. So I'm going to go a Villa thrashing on this one. Must win like 3 or 4 for this game because I don't think Everton are going to be good enough to stop them.
No, I completely agree, mate. And Barney, on this one, I mean, like Spook said, that Everton can be defensively tight, but they can't score enough goals to stay up there. I mean, I do like Jared Brathwaite. I think he is a good player, but I think that there's definitely a lot of growing for him. And ultimately, the fact that they are still relying on Ashley Young and Seamus Coleman in their squads. I mean, what does that
39, man.
say?
He's old.
Yeah, you can't rely on players like that. And I agree with what Spook said. For me, particularly defensively anyway, they've relied on Pickford for so long to get them out of trouble in many, many games. And I've said this to many different people. And they just seem like a club in turmoil. And I think it's a bit of an overreaction rather, sorry. Getting rid of a manager when your club's in a battle, when you're in debt, you're faced with potential more charges. You've got a ground that's cost the universe. You're struggling in the Premier League. You need consolidation. You need teamwork. You need togetherness. And I don't think they have any of that. And they just seem like a club, unfortunately, that's a bit rudderless, a bit lost at the moment. I don't know what to make of them. I can only see a Villa win here, 3-0.
Very nice, very nice. I like how these scores are going up. Right, let's jump to the Midlands here. We'll go to Leicester Palace. I think this has got quite an interesting one. And I mean, Fabrizio Romano has just posted on X that apparently this says some news potentially coming out of Crystal Palace. It could be in regards to Romain Eze. They may have agreed a deal for him from Millwall. Very good young English prospect. So I think that's got all the makings of it, and Palace do like a gem. I know they are tracking Joe Bellingham from Sunderland. They did get Adam Walton, and they have got obviously half of Chelsea's youth players at one point or another in the last half a century for that side. So, Barney, I'm going to stick with you on this one, mate, because I know that you've followed Leicester quite a bit over the last couple of years and having a look at what they have been doing when they was in the Championship with you guys as well.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, we've got another team like Everton who are in a bit of a rut. I think Van Nistelrooy's gone in there and found that it is a very difficult job compared to what he thought. They
100%.
do have a lot of Premier League players, but the fact that they're still relying on Jamie Vardy, who is still a good player, but what is he? The other side of a tombstone right now in terms of playing. That how
it's true.
how can you surmise Leicester's season, and how can you see this one going, mate?
They're a side who have got really good players, but have lacked cohesion, inconsistency, spend a lot of money, expected to do a lot better. Ruud van Nistelrooy's come in. You get a new manager bounce. You get a good feeling, if you like. Jamie Vardy's there's too much dependency on him, I think, to get the goals. The players just look a bit lost sometimes in the games I've seen, and I expect them to do a lot better. Kallum, to be honest, it's quite shocking to see them where they are. The Premier League, I said this to many people, you might disagree with me here, but it's not a strong league this year. It is really not. If you look up the table, there's such a small gap of points between certain positions. It just takes a small run of any club to get in a kind of respectable position. And Leicester they just lack goals. They're too reliant on certain individuals, and I don't know. They're going back into old ways again. I thought Ruud van Nistelrooy would help out, but they just seem to be doing the same thing again and again. And this game, it's a tricky one. Palace have got some good players too, and they can get a good result occasionally. They've got good results in them.
They've
But I think
Palace
this is
ain't
going
been
to be
doing too bad recently, have
no,
they?
they haven't. They haven't. No, I like them. And if the players that you mentioned, if they get them, they're quietly building a good side. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries recently. So once they get those squad, they'll be all right. I've always said they'll be fine. But 1-1, I think, in this game.
1-1. Okie dokie. Right, I'll bring Spooks. Stop playing around with your dongle. Pay your bill, please, mate. Then you'll be all right.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
James, I'll come over to you on this one,
Okay.
mate. So obviously, Palace have been a little bit better. I know since you was last on with us. They do seem to be doing bits in the background. They have stuck by Oliver Glasner, which I'm glad of because I do think he is a good manager.
Yeah.
Do you feel that Palace have got enough about them to get a result here at King Power?
I think Leicester need to pick up points. They need a win. They need something. They need to galvanise themselves to try and lift themselves. I think this has got a draw all over it. I think it's got one each. Definitely, I think it's a draw. Will be a draw. One each.
No, that's fair. And Spooks, obviously, the way that it sits in the league table at the moment, Leicester are 19th with 14 points, and Crystal Palace have clawed their way up from the bottom of the table to sit on 21 points after 20 games. They do have a decent goal difference of -7. They are closing in on quite a few teams, to be honest. If they do win this one, they'll be level on points with, unfortunately, Spurs sitting in 12th. I know we'll discuss our game later on, but they have sort of climbed up the table. So, I mean, do you think they've got enough about them to go here and get a result against Leicester? Because I can't see anything for Leicester. Can you, mate?
Honestly, Leicester has been one of the disappointing, ones for me. I think they just came with their old manager. They came in with this mentality of we are not good enough to compete, so we'll take the results that come. They didn't play any football that inspired me. And I think since Rude came, there was a little bit of a change. The players were playing with more, aggression, trying to make something out of it. I just think they are just a little short. I don't think they are good enough. I think if they are going to stay up, they need a miracle, or they just need something to happen for them this January. They need to buy some players. I think they are defensively very naive. I think they create a lot of the problems that they face. And even though they score in some games, the odd goal from Vardy, and I don't see it. Mavididi, or I don't see them staying up. Crystal Palace also kind of hit and miss, but they need this win more than I think Leicester do. Leicester have kind of given up in the way that they play. They've kind of given up on surviving in the Premier League. So I think Crystal Palace will go there and win by a solitary goal, or maybe it'll be a 2-1, but just a difference of one. I don't think Leicester will score, though, to be honest. It's going to be a 1-0.
No, I definitely back you on that one, mate. So some big news from Fabrizio Romano at the moment. Kusanov, the RC Lens defender, Man City have had a 40 million fixed fee bid plus add-ons accepted. So there will be some medical tests to be conducted in the next couple of days. Contract until 2029, plus a further option for another season. So that's here we go on that. So did I think half the top clubs in the Premier League, and I would have taken him in a heartbeat and all that. I mean, definitely a very combative defender. So I think the fact that City have got him, they've definitely paid a pretty penny for him. Let's put it that way. He's a good prospect, but I don't know whether he's worth that 40 million plus add-ons. And the add-ons are probably about 20 million.
Now.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, the truth about this January transfer window is if you don't pay, you don't get the player. Nobody is going to be waiting around till summer to, come back for this player. If you're paying this money now, it means you need him now. So yeah, nobody's gonna be waiting for you to add some extra pennies to the dollar. No.
No, exactly. And I mean, City have been without Diaz, they've been without Stones, they've been without a lot of Ake as well.
Yeah.
They have no
And that's
cover. Yeah.
that's the thing. I think the City team has just aged. They've just gotten old, and they haven't replaced them in the right areas. They've replaced up front.
Yep.
They've replaced a little bit of the midfield, but then half of their players that are their good youth prospects, they've sold. I've got obviously Palmer, Delap, Howard Bayliss, all these players who should be sort of the spine of their team have gone. So now they've actually got to go to Europe to buy these youngsters to supplement them, because that whole class that won the under-21s trophies for them, they're all gone. I think the only one that remains is James McAtee. And I mean, he's all right, but he's still very raw. And then Rico Lewis has not been great. Or you've got who was the other one? Oscar Bob. But they even bought him in a couple of years ago, didn't they? So he's not fully homegrown. So that's definitely a good piece of update from Twitter. I love having that live while we're doing it, so I can definitely keep an eye on any updates that come on. And that's a cat video, so that's definitely not what I want to see on my football Twitter. Right, let's go to Newcastle Wolves. I mean, Wolves, since their new manager came in, I mean, they have had some big wins and some decent draws as well. They did once again take points against Spurs. I mean, we can't seem to beat Wolves in the last couple of years, which really concerns me. And obviously Newcastle are coming off of the back of their big win against Arsenal. So Barney, I'm going to come to you on this one, mate. Obviously, a lot of people have questioned Eddie Howe, whether he's the right man for the job, whether he could keep doing it. I think at the moment he's put two fingers up at all them doubters and gone, yeah, I am. I'm the man to do this for Newcastle. And he's got Isak scoring for fun. I mean, every top club would love to have Isak. I mean,
gosh,
any day. Yeah, the fact that Liverpool could have got Isak, they got Nunez instead.
Brilliant.
Sorry, James. But no, it's a fair assessment that so many clubs are looking at Isak as that top striker. I mean, I was listening to Terry Gibson the other day, and when Newcastle did get him from, I think it was Sociedad, they paid the release clause. Everyone in Spain was going, what the hell are you guys doing? Why are you paying this money? Premier League did buy him. He took a little bit of time, but now look at him. He's probably the most informed striker in the world at the moment.
100%.
I would say.
100%.
This guy is literally, you'd take him in a heartbeat, wouldn't you? And if he keeps his goal scoring form, I think he could be top scorer in the Premier League this year. If
100%.
They have to keep him fit now.
They've got to keep him fit. He's on a great run of goals.
I didn't even know you were still here. Sorry, mate. You've gone off image. But yeah, Salah I agree with as well. But Isak as a striker himself, most in form in the Premier League, mate. So yeah, Barney, sorry about that.
No worries, mate. Yeah, it's all good. No, I rate him hugely. I mean, Newcastle have had some terrific results. And I've always felt Eddie Howe needed to be given time. I always felt Newcastle would come good. It's taken a while. But you've got likes of Gordon and Isak, and they're finding the results against the big teams. And I always feel if Isak, this is my personal opinion, I think they have to qualify for Europe. And if they don't, I think the bigger clubs will come sniffing at Isak. I guarantee it, because he's just too good. A big club will come and offer huge amounts of cash because, quite frankly, he could walk into any club, as you say, in the world, because he's on that good form. He's in my FPL team as well. I just transferred him in, so... But yeah, I think this will be a good game. Wolves have picked up, recently they got some good results, and their players are finding form. But Newcastle at home, I always fancy them. The Geordie crowd. I think this will be a 3-1 Newcastle win.
Okie dokie. James, obviously, Wolves have had their resurgence. Their new manager did come in from Saudi. He has done pretty well, I think, for them. I mean, what are you thinking on this one?
I love the midfield of Newcastle. I love like the way they're playing. The Tonali's back. The midfield's fantastic to watch. So that's what makes Gordon and Isaac click. I can only see 4-0 Newcastle.
Okay. Spooks, can you be the top? Can you
Hey,
give
man.
us some optimism for Wolves, or do you think that Newcastle are definitely going to keep going the way that they are?
Yeah, after listening to Anthony Gordon's post match, I don't think there's any hope for Wolves, to be honest. Because I think he was asked what the upturn of form for Newcastle was about, and he was like, it was attitude, because they've always had the quality. And I agree with him because they hunt after the opponent like as if their life depend on it. When I watched the game against Arsenal, I was like, Arsenal can't even get a kick. Arsenal were trying their very best, but when it got to the defense, it looked like a solid block. There was no way that Arsenal was going to score. And if you watch the game, there was only one winner. And Newcastle, if they play like that, it's scary, because they have Isaac who can score out of nothing. They've got Gordon who's going to keep running at you with the ball. And Murphy has found a bit of form too, because he's been creating, he's been scoring, and in the midfield they've got Bruno and Tonali who are making that place literally impenetrable. I love the whole balance of the team, and I think when the attitude set in and they started to play like a team, they started to fight for one another, like put their bodies on the line. They've been playing fantastically well, and it helps to have a striker like Isaac who scores everything he touches. So yeah, I don't see any kind of optimism for Wolves. They either die by the sword or forfeit the match.
So let me ask each of you a hypothetical. If Newcastle don't go out and get a backup striker for Isaac this January, and he gets injured, because Callum Wilson will probably not kick a ball ever again for Newcastle, according to sources. If Isaac gets injured, will they fall apart? James, I'll come to you first, mate.
I still think they'll make top 6.
Okay.
They've got Gordon there, he's scoring goals. Still think they need a striker, you're right. Yeah. I still think they'll make top 6. No, they'll be fine. They'll be okay.
Okie dokie. Spooks, do you echo that, mate?
Yeah, I don't think they'll make top 6 though. I just think they would not go down. They would not be too bad because they still share the goals around. Isaac is more like a figurehead for their goals. So yeah, I think they would be okay. My only concern is actually not for Isaac. I think Isaac is doing really well. But I think in midfield, if they lose Bruno Guimaraes, like they could go down, like because the solidity of the midfield, why they are not easy to be played through, is all because he marshals that midfield, creates from nothing. He's he has this kind of aggression where he dictates how the team go into tackles. How they push the opponent. I honestly don't see them doing too well after he gets injured. I think they could manage it without Isak, to be honest.
Okie dokie. Barney, same question for you, but I'm going to expand it with Spooks' point as well. Do you think that it would be more costly for them to lose Isaac or Bruno Guimaraes?
I think Bruno. I think the midfield for me is key. I think the key to a successful side, it's just my personal opinion, is not relying too much on your strike force, but showing the goals around. Isaac's got loads of goals, but you see where Newcastle's goals are coming from. You've got Gordon and the likes and other ones. So for me, with my own team, I don't like to rely too much on our front two. I like to see the goals shed around, as we've proven. You want to have that kind of cohesion within the team. Everyone chips in. And yeah, so if, God forbid, Isaac does get injured, yeah, they should go for a striker, sure. But I still think they'll be up there and challenging for Europe, even without him.
Okay. No, that sounds good. There's no other games on the Wednesday, so we're all right. There's 4 games, but we don't need to talk about that other one. So it's not important. It's only a North London derby, so we'll leave that one till last. No,
Wait, what?
nah, don't need to
We're
talk
not
about
doing that,
that.
are we?
Nah,
That's what we've been waiting for, man. That's what we've been waiting for.
yeah, we can wait a little longer. We're going to go to we'll go to Ipswich, Brighton. This is going to be a classy game. This one, Spooks. Obviously, I know that Chelsea have a nice affiliation with Brighton, considering you've got half their technical staff and backroom staff still, as well, and half their playing staff. So, obviously, we've all been impressed with Ipswich this year. I know it hasn't gone all their way, what they would like, and they are still 18th, but they do play nice football. I like Delap. I like a lot of their players, and I think McKenna's doing a good job as much as he can, and they are looking to get more players in this window. Obviously, Brighton haven't been in the greatest form recently, nor has Ipswich. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this one, mate?
So I'd pay some homage to Ipswich. I think they've done really well, but they are an example of why experience in the Premier League is so invaluable. They are very good as a team to watch, but then in the key moments they lose their head. Either they make a sloppy pass and lose a goal on the transition, or they get goals from set pieces against them. They are very good, but they cannot keep a lead to save their life. So it was so surprising that this Ipswich team was able to beat my darling Chelsea. But well, anyways, we are not kind of a sport. So I still love them as a team. I think Brighton is good. So this will be a good battle. I like what Herzl has done with the team. I enjoyed them play. I think they also need a little bit of consistency. So I might go for a scoring draw for this game. Ipswich are going to be hard to beat at home. I don't think Brighton also are going to be too much of a threat, to win this game. Joao Pedro maybe could be some form of magic, but I don't think they would be good enough to beat Ipswich. I look at this game as a draw. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's good. James, I'm going to come to you on this one, mate. Obviously, like Spooks said, Ipswich play some nice stuff, but they can't keep. They don't have the experience behind them to see out games. But then Brighton seem to be running out of a bit of steam at the moment. Have you been impressed with Ipswich this season?
I think Delap's a fantastic little player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Delap is amazing. Great player. All right, great player. I think I'm social bitten. Yeah, I do. I think we'll be 2-0. I'll switch.
So what are you going? 2-0 Ipswich?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Barney, obviously, we've sung the praises of both of these teams this season. Both not in the greatest of form, but both do have the ability to beat any. Well, it's like you said, the league is not as good as it should be this year based on the quality of teams that are in it. But I mean, everyone can beat anyone on any day.
100%.
What's your thoughts around this game, mate?
Well, my thoughts are, having watched us play both of these sides in the last couple of months, Ipswich have been really, really good. But as you touched upon, their inability to see out games. I mean, they obviously scored against us to make it 2-1, but then they go and see that penalty right at the end. So it's all about defending and keeping switched on. It was great for me, but I could see the errors they made leading up to that. They panicked, and they even had a chance to make it 3-1 just before it went to 2-2. So it's those kind of moments that could prove really, really costly for them. And it's almost a little bit of naivety, I thought, if I was being a neutral and, looking at that game objectively. In terms of this game, Brighton, they've had some good results. I don't know. I'm edging towards an Ipswich 2-1 home win.
I think that might make at least
I like Delap. Oh, and one more thing. Delap was very, very good against us. Standout player.
Yeah,
really, really good. Delap.
Delap's good. Smodic is good. They've got Hutchinson. So, I mean, they've definitely got enough players probably in attack to do so.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there we go. Spooks. Look, another one that you guys sold and you replaced them with another God knows how many players from the mainland.
Come on, man.
Don't
These
leave
guys are
yourself
just,
so
I don't
open to
know.
this.
Like they play. To be honest, yeah. Sometimes I understand the board because when you look at the players that they are playing behind, they're also real class. But then if you look at what is happening at Manchester City and how they've sold all of their prospective players, and you look at some of these players who come back to bite us, it's like, why are we selling these players? Keep them for a while. Let's see if it works out. And we always tend to sell the very good ones. We've sold really amazing players. Ola Aina, I would love back at the club. Hudson Odoi, I'd love back at the club. So many players, man. Hutchinson, oh my God.
De Bruyne,
I can't
Salah,
believe that we
Schürrle,
Nah, man,
Lukaku.
don't even go that far back, man. Like, cause sometimes I lose my head when I hear the kind of players we sell. And so because of that, whenever a player leaves our academy and is, being sold to another club, I'm like, why haven't you learned your lessons? Why are you selling these players? Even Chalobah left the team and has been banging goals for Crystal Palace.
One of your
Nah,
greatest ever
man,
keepers,
I can't do for the
Petr
life of
Cech.
me.
There you go. There's another one. Club legend. What can you say?
Man. Yeah, you're enjoying this, man. I know you're enjoying
Oh,
this.
I very much so am. Anything to prolong not covering the North London derby will be all right. Right.
We'll get
Let's
there
go.
eventually, man.
Oh, yeah, we've got 2 more games left, so we've got to do it eventually. But no, let's jump to, 2 teams definitely in turmoil. I'm not going to lie. One of them can't seem to get points and have sacked a manager. Well, both have sacked a manager this year. But ultimately, one team did make a lot of people cry at the weekend. And it did surprise everyone because everyone thought this would be a walk in the park for Red fans. And turns out Red fans versus Red fans. And the side of Manchester was a lot happier than the side of Liverpool from this one, weren't they, James? So don't worry, Spooks. I can get everyone on this one, mate, because I know everyone's going to rinse me in a bit. But no, I mean, obviously, Man United, this a real bottled job of a club. They're completely all over the place. They have no strategy. The amount of the people they're looking to get rid of this January. I saw an article the other day that said they was looking to get rid of Rashford, Casemiro, Ericsson, Maguire was even on there. Martinez was on there. Anthony was definitely on there. They regretted even buying him. Yeah, I saw Garnacho and Mainu on there as well because they're sellable assets for PSR. So, I mean, I did see links to Chelsea for both of them. So that's another one where Chelsea go out, get rid of their own youth players and buy someone else's. But this is a club that needs to, well, we've been saying it for many years now. It needs to go back, rebuild, get settled, start again. The problem is, how many times have they done that since Ferguson to make it happen? They can't even afford to repair their leaking roof at the moment. I saw a picture of a dead rat underneath a chair the other night as well at Old Trafford. So that doesn't really inspire confidence. But then on the flip side of that, you've got Southampton, who are a team that have stayed in the Premier League for so long, go down for a year. You'd think they'd have the knowledge and know-how and experience to be able to survive. And instead, they don't have a clue. So I think it's only fair to come to you on this one first, James, obviously, because I know just to make your pain a little bit longer for from the weekend. I'm going to do
an Ateta here. I'm going to complain. It was the weather because of the result, 2 each. It was the snow's fault. It was bad conditions.
Was it a different ball? Did it not move the right way that it was meant to?
I'll be honest with you. Like,
love it.
I thought the midfield was very good. I'll be honest. I hate saying it. Ugarte was very good. I thought Manu was good. we, as I said before at the start of the show, we missed Sabzai for that. That was I personally think because of his energy and going forward with the ball. So we were outfought in the first half in midfield, and obviously I don't want to talk about Trent too much. But United, to me, right? They seem like they went to City. They won 2-1, right? Then they went on a mad run of results. They were really bad. They were getting beat week in, week out. Now they've come to Anfield. They've got a good result, but can they get a run going? I don't know. No, can they do it every week? I don't think so. But they'll beat Southampton. They should do.
I think everyone's guaranteed to beat Southampton, aren't they, this year?
Yeah. But for Southampton...
I know. I was looking at you, Barney. Don't worry.
Southampton, see, I think Jason Wilcox was a big loss for Southampton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the back, above, in the backroom team. He was a big loss to Southampton. So he was.
And it was such a coup when they did get him from Man City as well, weren't it? And
yeah.
Where's he gone now? Did he go? Where did he go to? Jason Wilcox.
Is it United?
Oh, he's at United.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he's taken over Ashworth's position, hasn't he? In temporary.
Temporary.
Well, even that sums up United. What a joke that was! You paid 10 million to get someone in and have a job within 4 months.
Yeah, apparently he wanted to keep Ten Hag.
Really?
Yeah, Dan Ashworth. And
what?
That's what happened. And then he gave him 200 million to spend.
Then that's a Bull of Fame.
That's the reason why he was sacked, I think.
Yeah.
Ashworth.
To be honest, and that's the thing. Radcliffe is taking no prisoners at the moment either, to say the least. Barney, if I can come to you on this one, mate. Southampton, you'd think with getting a new manager in, they obviously sacked. What's his name? Who was there? Well, they sacked their old manager. You'd think they'd try and change it up. And I mean, I've seen about as much resurgence as nothing.
Russell Martin.
Yeah,
well,
Russell Martin.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, not wanting to try and glorify our draw over them at all, but literally, when they got the new manager bounce and they played against us for the first time this season, they actually looked defensively good. And I'm not joking. They actually looked structured, but then they reverted back to this kind of old way again very quickly. And when you have a new manager come in and it's the same players, I've seen this happen before. The players go back into old habits from the previous manager, and there's a saying, old habits die hard. And I'm convinced with Southampton this is the case. And unfortunately for them, I mean, they're pretty much on almost track to beat Derby's record if they carry on like this. I really can't. Yes, exactly. I really can't see them getting more than 15 points, to be honest. And that's being generous. They look a championship side, sadly. And it's a shame, really, because they had that long stint in the Premier League a few years ago, and I thought it would change. But they just seem a little bit kind of lost and set in a tactical kind of bubble, if you like, a way of playing that just won't change. And the players are set in that way now. It'd be very hard to get them out of that mindset. United, for all their problems, and they have got a lot of problems, I only see a home win here, so I'm going for 2-1 because I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. 2-1 United.
No, that sounds fair. James, I've given you a lot of shit tonight. Just a stat to make you a little bit happier. Tottenham's record at Anfield at the moment since 1999. Played 27 games, won 1, drawn 7, lost 19. Games lost by 1 goal minimum, 10. So that should cheer you up for the second round on that one. You don't get any response time. Spooks, what's your thoughts on this game, mate?
Oh, man. What have I not said about the Manchester United team? To be honest, I don't even understand what the managers of this club are doing. This is not how to run a club. I can't for the life of me understand what they're doing. Because you bring in a manager who has a style of play that you think you are trying to adopt into the club. You don't have the type of players he needs to play that style of play, but you're like, oh, you know what? It's a good idea to force him to leave his team and come in when you could have proceeded with the old manager who has bought his style of players to play for this season. Then you bring in a director of football, wait for 5 months for him to settle in from his garden leave, and then sack him after 4 months. Who does that? And then after that, they just increase the ticket prices. What is this club doing? What is this club doing? So honestly, Manchester United, they have a lot of off-field news that is not helping the team. Rashford, the players, not turning up in games. I honestly do not see a club like the Manchester United of old is dead, and they need to understand that and reset. They need a huge reset. The fans need to understand that this period is going to be one of mourning. They will be losing a lot of games, but then it is for a very good future of them starting to play a good style of football. Because half of these players in their team cannot play football. Not even to speak of a style of football, they just cannot play. They are past their prime. They do not know what to do on the field. I don't like the balance of this Manchester United team. Southampton, on the other hand, I think that they have a good manager, they have a good setup, but naivety. They play like a championship team. They play like they want to go after you and create something special without remembering that they also need to consolidate at the back. So even though I feel Manchester United is going to win this game, Southampton has to take a very hard look at themselves this season and ask the question, do we want to play in the Premier League, or we're looking to just have a fairy tale, 19 games and then out? Because if they are going to play the same way, they're going to leave the league before it's done. And I see Manchester United compounding their woes this weekend. Might be even a thrashing. Even though I don't think United are that good, I just feel like Southampton are that bad. So yeah, honestly, that was a bit of a rant, but yeah.
No, that's fair, mate. I mean, you are correct that Southampton are probably just a little bit worse than Man United. I mean, it does make me proud when I say that I used to be scared of Man United. Now Spurs have an aggregate score against them this season of 8-3 in 2 games already, and we've still got to play them. I mean, when we look back here, and all of us are old enough to remember Ferguson's time, the class of back in the 90s as well, seeing Beckham, Scholes, Ronaldo,
Neville.
all of them, Neville, Evra,
Incredible.
all of them.
Amazing side.
Look at it now. No one's afraid of United. People
Shadow
used
of
to
it.
be afraid. I mean, even Liverpool fans and City fans would brick themselves when going to Old Trafford days gone by. Now look at it. Everyone goes there, thinks that we're going to get wet in the stadium, but at least we're going to see a nice game where we're going to put 3 or 4 goals past them and all that. What does that say about a club?
Can you see Amro lasting?
I would like
to. Another terrible job.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough backup managers that are going to keep the Stability Club alive, to be honest, because most of them have been snapped up this week into jobs by Everton and West Ham. So, I mean, who does that leave? Sean Dyche to go in there next? I mean, Jesus Christ, that's literally you're falling down the rabbit hole there, and the rabbit hole's just been filled in with ferret.
That'd be terrible.
But that's the thing, like literally, where do you go? I
But
mean,
the question I ask is, who's going to buy these players they're trying to get rid of? Who's going to buy Rashford? Who's going to pay his wages?
Well, exactly. Literally, any clubs that are looking to get him having to ask United to contribute like 70% of the wages. If you're going to get rid of a player, even on loan, you want to get rid of them and get a loan fee for them. You don't want to be literally having to ask someone to pay a bit of their wages and then you pay them a loan fee to take them off your hands.
Like the players they brought on, Xerxes, I don't know, I don't understand. Like that's just does not make sense to me.
What kind of recruitment was that?
Yeah, Look,
They let Sancho go. That's weird.
but that's the thing. Sancho's playing well for you guys, but then you're going to get him for what, 20 million, and they paid nearly 100 for him from Dortmund. The fact was that they got Anthony a couple of years ago in 2022. Could have got him at the start of the season for 30 million, start the transfer window. Then thought they had to back Ten Hag, and they paid 90. He was rated by their own scouting team at less than 30 million, and that's from a credible source in the Athletic that reported him.
I heard that.
Even Barcelona were looking at Anthony that season. They had him and Rafinha on their transfer list, and they was like, well, we think Anthony's better, but we want to pay 35 million for him. They got Rafinha for 25 and all that, and he went, and United paid 90 million. I mean, what did Ajax think? Did they literally just bend United over and pants them and all that? Because that's literally what they've done. It's like, oh, yeah, we're going to pants you and take your wallet and we'll go down the cash point. What does that say to clubs and all that? I mean, I understand Premier League tax. I understand Man United tax. But there's Man United tax and then there's daylight robbery, and they've wasted Casemiro, a good player when he came in. The money that he's on is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Anthony, fucking De Ligt. What the hell was the point of getting De Ligt this summer?
Too slow. It's too slow.
Yeah, I mean, literally, De Ligt.
I don't even know what way to even describe them.
De Ligt has literally done a lap of the whole of Europe of top clubs, and not one has fancied him. And
he's 24 years of age.
Yeah.
What's he done? Ajax, Juventus, Bayern Munich, 3 top country clubs, and not one wanted him. And all that. The only manager that kind of rated him was Thomas Tuchel.
Like, oh, you know what?
And that's because he plays slow football.
That's right.
Yep. Exactly.
And now he's gone to United for what? Nearly 45 or 50 million? And all that. He's worth 20 at most. I mean, who does all this transfer business and all that? Lissandro Martinez, I think he's a good centre-back, but he's too small. So literally, he's not designed for the Premier League. Diego Dallo, a good player, but then Tyrell Malacia, injury-prone. How they've not just terminated Luke Shaw's contract, how he keeps getting new contracts.
We're getting paid.
At the club.
Exactly.
Garnacho, good player. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the only players that you would say that have any residual value in United at the moment is probably Kobe Mainu, Diallo, Garnacho, and probably Dallo. They're the ones that you could probably get any money from, and Fernandez.
Maybe Bruno.
I think Bruno. Yeah. I mean, Højlund I haven't seen enough of. Rashford's an arse. Anthony's useless. I mean, he hasn't started a game since, I think it's April last year when they lost at Selhurst Park. So, I mean, what does that say when £90 million players have no chance? They won't even start against Southampton. Come on. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I mean, and who they got in goal? Onana. Onana, what's my name? Shit. That's what your name is. You're shit. I mean, literally, the man is such a temperamental keeper. He can have an outstanding game and 20 crap. So, I mean, they've got that. And their backup keepers are awful. Where do you go? I mean, even Wan-Bissaka, I thought was actually a good player. He was better than half of their squad and all that, and they got rid of him. So there's no strategy, there's no technicality, there's no identity with United, and that's the problem with them. And that's my rant over, to be honest. I've gone down Spooks' line.
Wait, before we move on from this, their backup keeper, Alte Bayanda, right? I actually watched, before they bought him, right? I actually watched a couple of his compilations, right? And from a fan of Chelsea, hate watching a new signing from another team, right? I could tell that he wasn't good enough for Manchester United. Even as a backup keeper, he wasn't good enough. I could see from watching on the YouTube comps, he wasn't good enough. So how in the hell did anybody watch him live or wherever and decide Manchester United is the best place that we can bring you and pay whatever they paid for him to be in the club?
I think they paid like
honestly
30 million
cannot
for him as well.
understand.
Crazy money.
I think
Beyond
Luke.
robbery.
I think when we played him in the cup game, I think Lucas Bergvall knocked him off the ball. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Lucas Bergvall ain't a name that's very respected in North at the moment, but I mean, literally the fact that he's knocked over a keeper who is probably twice his size and all that, it doesn't inspire any confidence, does it at all? And I mean, United have a lot of good young players, but I mean, they let go of a good young centre back in the summer, didn't they? As well, I can't remember his name, but he was sort of that same age group as Quansah at Liverpool and all that. I think at youth ranks and very good, and they let him go for like 6 million. What does that say? That you go and sell one of your best players from last year, who actually wears the badge and wants to play for you, and you go and get De Ligt? Come on, it doesn't inspire confidence at all. But I think
I don't think
I've
even the players they want to play for them. Right?
Well, exactly. What does that say? Even Rashford don't want to play for him, and he's a Mancunian lad through and through, and all that. Even he's fell out of love with the club, and he was their best prospect and best player for a long time. But right, I think I've got to put myself through it. So let's jump back a day to Wednesday, and it is the second North London derby of the season.
Are you gonna watch this one?
Oh, don't.
I think you need to get your thoughts first, man.
Okay, no, that's fair. I think I've grilled all the rest of you, so I've got to. I've got to do it. Oh, Luca's view: Spurs 4-0. I highly doubt that, Luca, but I love your optimism to back us. But no, I mean, it's going to be a difficult one because we won't have more than a few back from injury next week. We might have Richarlison back. I think Matassar and Maddison are back from suspension this weekend. So it's going to be an interesting one because we're still going to be without our first team keeper, Romero, Van der Ven, and Udogie. We're going to be without Rodrigo Bentancur because after the game against Liverpool, he had his concussion verified, and there was reports today that it was a concussion that he did get when he went down and hit the floor. So that he's on concussion protocol until end of not next week, the week after. So we're going to be without him. Werner, hopefully he's nowhere near the squad. Let's put it that way. That'd do me a favour on every level. We may have a new forward by then, but I don't think we will. I mean, we are looking at Kolo Muani from PSG, but that one's going on too long, I think. So if we do get anything, but we did get our new keeper, and James, obviously, I don't know what you thought of him on Wednesday night, but he was actually quite good.
Yep, he was good with his feet. Very good with his feet. No, really impressed. Definitely,
confident too.
Better than Fraser Forster. Better than Fraser Forster. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, it's a good option to have against Vicario.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we've got probably our 3 keepers now sorted. We'll probably have Vicario and Kinski for 1 and Austin as 2 to sort of spread that across the 3. I think Fraser Forster will go in the summer.
You just relegated Fraser to the bench? Or to the reserve?
I think Fraser Forster will be relegated to kit boy at the moment. Let's put it that way. There's a building site down the road from the training centre, so he's like a bag of cement, so he can go and join them there. No, Fraser Forster, he's a statesman keeper now, isn't he? He's like sort of Scott Carson at City.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's a good shot stopper, but I mean the man can't distribute to save his life. He's not good at playing out from the back, and he just doesn't look confident at all. To be honest, he is 36 or 37 now, so he's done well for us when he did come in, but he does not look comfortable in the system, to be honest. I think they kept him around because Vicario doesn't really get injured. And then obviously he did break his foot against Man City. How the hell a goalkeeper breaks their foot? I don't freaking know. But I mean, somehow he played with a broken foot for 75 minutes. So it's probably extended that even worse, to be honest. But no, I mean, I think that
When is he back?
Arsenal...
When is Vicario coming back?
Meant to be late February, early March. He's off the crutches, but I think he's got a way to go now. And Austin had a good game against Newcastle last weekend for his debut at 26. You don't really say that for 26-year-olds, do you, to get your debut?
Yeah.
Then obviously Kinski playing against Liverpool in the week. So no, two good options there, especially as a homegrown keeper in Austin. I reckon that if we play how we did against Liverpool, close up shop, control the game, and actually play well and all that, and have some sort of aspect to it, I think we could get a draw against Arsenal. I don't think we'll get a win, but I think I would take a draw in North London Derby for that. So, I mean, I think I've done enough talking. So, who wants to come in first on this one?
Oh, man. Two of my favorite enemies. It will be a nice watch, to be honest. I don't know. Arsenal are not filling me with too much hope because I think they play really solidly at the back, but then creating goals since Saka got injured has been a real problem. Odegaard, who was a little spark of brilliance, has also not really seen too much. I think they have a problem with converting chances. I don't think they have a problem creating. I don't think Havertz is good enough to lead the line. Gabriel has been Gabriel Jesus has been, delivering a couple of, goals against Crystal Palace and some nicked goals here and there, but he's not the 20-goal striker that you need. Havertz, as I said again, I'm going to hound on this because we told Arsenal that he is not a striker. We used him there. He was not good enough. So I don't think Arsenal are going to be scoring too many goals in this game. Might be one of their, set piece classics that wins this game because I think they will win this game. But Spurs, I hope, make a game of it because honestly, I don't want Arsenal to win. But I'm saying this because I know Spurs can get really Spursy and, hype us up with this wonderful win with Liverpool and then just go give an easy win to Arsenal. I mean, it's the Spurs way, isn't it? Because I honestly do not see you guys beating Arsenal and beating Liverpool and getting anything out of this Arsenal game. If you do that, man, hats off, man, and I'd love it. But I don't think you will. I honestly don't think you will.
So what score are you going for, Spooks?
Set piece, 1-0. I won't see them scoring more than 2. Yeah, so 1-0. I'm gonna go 1-0.
Remember, any game under Ange Postecoglou. Yeah, Spurs always score. Ange Postecoglou can't go a game without scoring.
Yeah, I need to revise that. I think it will be a 2-1. I don't think you will win though. It has to be like a close game because Arsenal are defensively very good. I don't think you guys are gonna score more than 1. So it's gonna be a 2-1 set piece. Like they did to Manchester United. They'll just score 2 corners and then sit back and invite pressure onto themselves. Yeah.
No, that's fair. And they did win the first leg at White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium through a set piece. So hopefully we have gone, with a corner. So hopefully we're better than that. James, what's your thoughts on this one, mate?
I think Madison coming back for you could help. Become a big bonus for you. Song doesn't look to be on form at the minute. I mean, get him playing well, you have a chance.
He does like a goal against Arsenal, to be fair.
He does. That's what I was going to say. He does. Yep. I was impressed with Bergvall against Liverpool the other night. I liked him. I thought he played well. So he did.
Wow.
I'll take 1 each.
I thought you guys thought he should have been sent off.
I think one each. You can do it. You can get a draw. I think you can.
I'd be happy with that, to be fair. And yeah, Spooks, he shouldn't have been sent off, but because that first one weren't a yellow card. So
was he?
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
No.
I kept
Second one
telling-
was a yellow.
You know, I
The
kept
second
telling
one was,
Liverpool friends-
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one was, but the first one was a dive, and I think if the referee hadn't given that, then he wouldn't be sent off. But anyways, my Liverpool friends were like, you know what, the attempt was worth the cut. I was like, no, he didn't even touch him. He didn't even touch him,
exactly.
so, yeah.
And that's the thing. If anything, that if they'd have given that as a red card, I think the Solanke goal should have stood. It was a very tight offside decision.
Very tight, yeah.
I don't know what they measured it on. Was it big toes? Was it a certain end or something like that? I don't know how they measure it these days in Stockley Park.
Now, like the semi-automated needs to come in now, because I think all of these decisions just lengthen how the stoppages are. Like, it can't be like 5 minutes looking at one offside. This semi-automated, within 30 seconds, we know the decision, we're gone. I don't get this whole, lengthy VAR check and checking people's phone angles to find which accurate, line. What is all this? It's terrible.
And what about then the aspect of the referee then blowing his whistle into the freaking microphone and then announcing it over a tannoy? That's so poor.
Yeah.
That is literally like
That was
the
weird
most
hearing that.
BTEC way of doing it. Yet, blow me whistle. VAR has backed my decision. They have said it's offside. Yeah, your linesman didn't put the bloody flag up, you idiot. So, I mean, how is it your decision and all that? I mean, the referee, he was crap on Wednesday. I'm not going to lie. He wasn't good at all for either sides.
He got some wrong, though.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have a good game. But, Barney, I'll come over to you on this one, mate. I think it's definitely we've all given our views on it.
Some good
guys,
views.
We've gone 2 draws, and Spooks has ruined my night, as he always does when it comes to Spurs. So what are you thinking on this one, mate?
Well, I'm thinking, you guys have pretty much covered all of what I was thinking. Without Saka, Arsenal lose that, attacking threat. I watched us play against them myself. All their sort of good play went through him. Robertson kept him in his pocket. But in terms of Spurs, I've got to be diplomatic, though, because it's Harry's channel. But in terms of Spurs and Fulham, it's a kind of Spursy Fulhamish thing. Sometimes you don't know which Tottenham or Fulham are going to turn up.
Exactly.
Madison, Son on their day could, get a goal. Even Pedro Porro can get an assist. He's good at doing that. You never know. And that's why he's in my dream team as well. Arsenal are good defensively. They showed that against us. Really, really good. Very impressive. I don't see a high-scoring game here, to be honest. And I'm leaning on a goal either way. I think 1-1. I don't think
1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solanke's definitely in a good vein of form as well. Well, to be fair, I think this could be a drawing week. Everyone has got quite a few cup games, so it depends on how we use our squads over the next sort of 4 or 5 days to see us through. And obviously all of us are still in the cup competitions at present. Whether we do go out against the fun Morecambs or Accrington Stanleys or Tamworths in the remaining games, that will literally, knowing our luck, at least one of Liverpool, Chelsea or Spurs are going to go out this weekend to a low-level team to be the cup upset round. Yeah, Chelsea.
Really? Okay. So we'll be here next season.
We shall see. But no, obviously it has been great talking all things football again, this one. Just a quick update on the scores from tonight. I think it's only fair to give them some credit for cup games. Aston Villa have ruined Harry Potter's night. It is 2-1 at the moment at Villa Park. So a nice turnaround on that. And Wycombe Wanderers beat Portsmouth, which is a bit of an upset. Portsmouth are not the club they used to be either. And if anyone's interested in the Scottish Championship, Partick Thistle beat Hamilton Academical. If anyone knows where they are on that one, but no, obviously, boys, thank you very much for tonight. I know football doesn't sleep on any nights, and I know a Friday night is usually all of our nights off, but I know we had clashes with the games on Wednesday, so it's very much appreciated.
Good
So,
Friday night,
yeah,
Thanks,
I mean,
guys.
I think next week will be Friday again because of the North London Derby and all the other games that we've got. So we will be covering them. But obviously, James, thanks very much as always, mate. So where can everyone find you?
You can find me on X. Anfield View. Yep.
Lovely stuff, mate.
Yep.
That's great. And obviously, good luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Spook, obviously, thanks for coming on again, mate. Where can everyone find you?
Thank you. Yeah, on every social media platform at Spooky the Maniac. Yeah, talking all things Chelsea and football.
Lovely stuff. Always appreciative of you coming on, mate. And Barney, obviously my co-host for pretty much all of these now. So thanks for coming on again, mate. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on X, Ambrose Barnaby. So search me up there. I usually be talking about Fulham or something like that. And pleasure to talk with you guys this evening. Great host, Kallum. And big up Harry for inviting me on this show, as always.
Lovely stuff. And obviously,
Awesome. And Happy
don't
New
forget,
Year, guys.
Happy New Year to everyone. Don't forget to go and like and subscribe Scarfey Spurs Talk as always. If anyone wants to find me on X, you can find me at Kallum97. You can check me out on Park Lane Podcast on a Sunday night as well. Usually on this podcast on a Wednesday or Friday if we have to change. And I will be potentially releasing a special podcast next week for a talent scout youth product about Spurs' youth academy with a Twitter account online. So that may be on Thursday and Friday. So I will hopefully be able to speak to everyone then. But if anyone wants to go and shout everyone out, go and check us all out on X and Blue Sky on Facebook, anywhere else that you can find us. And obviously have a good night. And see you later, guys.
Take care, guys.